It began with a whisper that wasn't supposed to exist. I had spent most of my adult life listening to the silence between stars. As part of the deep listening array on the dark side of Luna, my work was to record the faint hum of cosmic radiation, the background chatter of quasars, and, if fortune favored me, the rare signature of something intelligent. Most days it was just static and mathematical boredom. But on cycle 14, segment 9, my equipment caught a pulse that didn't belong to any natural source. At first I thought it was an echo, some human signal bouncing through space junk, but the pattern was too elegant. 7 bursts, each spaced by intervals that followed the Fibonacci sequence. No random process could have done that. And stranger still, every 7 pulses were followed by a tone, one that resonated with the frequency of human speech. For hours, I stared at the monitors in the base's control dome, trying to convince myself I was misreading it. My partner, Lieutenant Ray Han, walked in, rubbing sleep from her eyes. "Another false alarm," she muttered, sipping from a coffee pouch. "Not this time," I said, pointing to the pattern. "Look, mathematical symmetry, frequency variation, and modulation. Someone or something is speaking to us." Ray's sarcasm faded. She leaned closer, her pupils widening as the rhythmic pulses shimmered across the screen. "Where's it coming from?" "Sector Theta 9, I said. "That's beyond Neptune. Impossible. Nothing humans transmitting from there." I smiled faintly. Exactly. That was the moment my life, and perhaps humanity's entire story, pivoted. The array had picked up a voice from the dark. The arrival. Within weeks, the world changed. The signal repeated daily, strengthening. Every attempt to decode it revealed fragments of structure, an intelligence methodical and complex. Soon Earth's agencies pooled their efforts. The global news networks called it the whisper. People argued whether it was a greeting or a warning. Then came the coordinates. The message shifted one night, replacing numbers with a spatial map, a trajectory that pointed directly toward the moon. Toward us. The base turned into a hive of activity. Drones prepared landing zones, governments argued over who owned first contact rights, and our small team received strict orders. Do not engage, observe only. Barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw those pulses forming patterns. Beautiful, deliberate, almost musical. Something about them felt familiar, like the rhythm of a lullaby from childhood I couldn't quite recall. On the 7th day, our sensors detected a vessel entering lunar orbit. It was enormous, at least 2 kilometers long, shaped like a spiral shell. Its surface shimmered like molten glass, reflecting the Earthlight in hypnotic waves. It made no aggressive movements, no weapons, just silence, until the hatch opened. We watched from the observatory as a figure emerged, descending the lunar dust like she weighed nothing at all. I say she because the silhouette was unmistakably feminine. Tall, slender, movements fluid like liquid. Her skin glowed faintly blue under the harsh lunar light. And then she smiled. That simple, human gesture rippled through me more than the arrival of any ship. There was kindness in it, curiosity, a strange familiarity, as though she recognized me. "Commander," Ray whispered. "She's coming toward the array." 3. The woman who spoke in light. I met her on the observation plane, standing in my pressurized suit while she floated above the ground, untouched by gravity. There was no air, no sound, yet somehow I heard her voice in my mind. "You heard us. You listened. We came because you remembered." Her words were like a vibration inside my skull, soft and melodic. I tried to respond verbally, but she raised a hand and shook her head gently. "Speech is unnecessary. I can feel your thoughts." I swallowed hard, my heart thudding. Who are you? Her eyes, silver and endless, met mine. We are the Lyrians. We were once human. The word struck me like a meteor. What do you mean once? Before the collapse. Before memory fractured. You were part of us once too. My breathing quickened. This wasn't possible. The Lyrians, if that was truly who they were the stuff of ancient myth. Stories whispered by fringe historians who believed humanity had once seeded the stars and forgotten. She extended her hand, and though there was no atmosphere, I felt warmth radiate through my suit. You have been asleep for a long time, Kale. That made me freeze. How do you know my name? Her expression softened. Because I was there when you chose to forget. For fragments of the forgotten. The following days blurred into something dreamlike. The Lyrian woman, who later called herself Ariel, agreed to speak only with me. Our commanders were furious, but they couldn't deny the results. Every interaction yielded data beyond comprehension. New mathematics, unknown materials, and technology that defied physics. But I was less interested in the science than in the truth buried in her words. She told me that long ago, before recorded history, humanity had reached the threshold of transcendence. We had built cities that spanned planets, minds that spanned dimensions. But we made a choice to forget, to return to simplicity, to restart evolution in physical form. The Lyrians had remained awake, guardians of that forgotten lineage, waiting for the moment one of us remembered. I didn't believe her, until the dreams started. Each night I found myself walking through impossible landscapes. Oceans that sang, skies filled with floating architecture, beings made of light who spoke my name. And always Ariel was there, watching me with that same gentle smile. One night I asked her directly, "Why me? Why not someone else?" "Because you were the last to fall asleep," she said. "The last to choose rebirth. You carried the code of remembrance." Her words haunted me. Could it be true? Were my memories, my entire identity, just layers built atop something older? Ray noticed my distraction. "You've been talking to her too long," she warned. "Command's getting nervous. They think she's manipulating you." "Maybe she is," I admitted. "But what if she's right?" Ray's gaze hardened. "Then everything we know about humanity is a lie." I looked out the viewport toward Ariel's ship, glowing softly in orbit. Maybe it's a truth we weren't ready for. 5. The test. Ariel eventually invited me aboard her vessel. Against protocol I accepted. Inside, the architecture was alive. Walls that pulsed like coral, corridors that rearranged themselves as we walked. The air shimmered with floating particles of light, each one humming faintly. "You built this?" "Yes." She shook her head. "We grow our vessels. They are part of us, as you once were." We entered a vast chamber where a sphere hovered in the center, swirling with starlight. "This is the archive," she said. "It contains the record of your people before the forgetting. If you wish to remember, touch it." My hand trembled. "What happens if I do?" "You will see. You will become." I hesitated. Fear, curiosity, and all warred within me. I had spent my life searching for answers among the stars, and now the stars were offering them. Slowly I reached out. The moment my fingers brushed the sphere, light consumed me. Images flooded my mind. Visions of worlds bathed in gold, vast crystalline cities, beings who danced across galaxies. And in one memory I saw myself, not as I was, but as something radiant, made of energy and thought. Standing beside me was Ariel. "We can't stay like this," my past self said. "We've gone too far. We've lost touch with what it means to live." Ariel's voice replied, Then we will sleep. We will become human again. And when the time is right, we'll awaken. The memory dissolved, leaving me gasping on the floor of the ship. Ariel knelt beside me, her expression filled with sorrow and pride. You see now, she whispered. You chose to forget so you could rediscover what it means to be alive. I stared at her, tears forming despite the zero gravity. And you waited all this time. We waited for you. 6. Earth awakens. Word of the Lyrians spread across the solar system. Governments panicked, religions split, and ordinary people began to dream. Dreams of golden cities and glowing oceans. Somehow, Ariel's presence was awakening something buried in human consciousness. Soon, others began to hear her voice the way I did. Millions experienced flashes of memory, languages they couldn't know, melodies they couldn't forget. Scientists called it collective cognitive resonance. Ariel called it the beginning, but not everyone welcomed it. Earth's Defense Council ordered her departure, claiming she was destabilizing civilization. They accused her of psychological manipulation. I was ordered to assist in her removal. Instead, I warned her. They're coming for you, I said. She only smiled sadly. They always do. Fear is the shadow of awakening. I can protect you, I said. Hide you. She touched my face gently. You can't protect me from what must happen. But you can choose. Choose what? To remember fully or to forget again. Before I could answer, alarms blared through the array. A fleet of interceptor drones launched from Earth, streaking toward the Lyrian vessel. Ariel turned toward the viewport, her expression unreadable. They won't understand, I whispered. They will, she said softly. Eventually. The first missile struck her ship, and the entire structure dissolved into light. Not an explosion, not destruction, just transmutation like ice turning to vapor. The light spread outward, washing across the lunar surface, across the stars, across me. And then everything went white. 7. The silence after light. I woke up in the medical bay 3 days later. The official report said the Lyrian vessel had dematerialized, leaving no trace. Command declared it a contained event and erased the logs. The array was shut down for security reasons. Ray visited me once, her eyes tired and distant. She's gone, she said flatly. He nodded. No. She's everywhere. Ray frowned. You sound like one of them. Maybe I am. She sighed. They're transferring you back to Earth. Mandatory psych evaluation. You'll be fine. But I wasn't fine. Every night, I dreamed of Ariel's smile. And every morning, I'd wake to find faint traces of glowing dust on my skin, light that vanished the moment I tried to show anyone. The return. Months passed. Humanity moved on, pretending the Lyrians were a hallucination. Yet across the world, strange phenomena occurred. Children speaking unknown languages, people predicting solar flares before they happened, entire cities dreaming the same dream. The world was changing. One evening, as I stood on a coastal cliff overlooking the Atlantic, the sky shimmered. The stars rearranged themselves into the shape of a spiral, like the hull of Ariel's ship. And then I heard her voice again. Kale. I turned and she was there, no longer radiant or alien but human. Her hair flowed like dark water, her eyes gentle and familiar. You came back, I whispered. She smiled. I never left. I stepped closer. What do you want from us? Not obedience. Not worship. Only remembrance. Remembrance of what? Of who you are. You were never meant to crawl through the dirt of one planet forever. You are the dream of the cosmos pretending to be small. It's time to wake up. I felt tears sting my eyes. We're not ready. You said that once long ago. And you were right then. But not now. I reached out to touch her, and my hand passed through her like mist. She was made of light again, fading. Ariel! Cried. Don't leave. Her final words echoed in my mind, clear and soft. When the stars sing again, follow the melody. You'll remember everything. And then she was gone. 9. The legacy. Years later, the world stands on the edge of something new. Our technology has leapt forward in ways we can't explain. Children born after the whisper have neural patterns unlike any before. Some say it's evolution. Others call it the Lyrian bloom. As for me, I continue to listen. The array may be shut down, but I've rebuilt a smaller receiver in my coastal cabin. Every night I scan the sky. 2 weeks ago, I heard it again. 7 pulses in the Fibonacci sequence, followed by a single tone, the same voice that started it all. Only this time it wasn't just a signal. It was a song. Ariel's melody. And as I listened, something inside me awakened. Memories of cities made of light, of a people who once held galaxies in their hands, who chose to become human just to feel what love meant. Now I understand what she meant when she said those words I'll never forget. We are not visitors among the stars, Kale. We are the stars, dreaming of being human. I smile every time I recall her face, her voice, her impossible kindness. Because somewhere out there, beyond the edge of Neptune, I know she's waiting for us to wake up fully. And when we do, when humanity remembers who it really is, I think the universe will smile too.